Hey community, this is Wise, and I want to show you something today that has to do with objects and patterns. First, what I want to do is I'm building this new ruins map for my subscription packs, my monthly subscription pack. So this will come out probably next week. So got quite a bit that I want to get done on this. But I put these these stair assets in on top of this new tile asset. These all come from Baileywiki. You can get him at his assets at Patreon. I use almost exclusively Baileywiki's Dungeondraft assets and then some of my own custom assets I've made. But he's got these nice stair assets that recently came out. You can see them here. They're just really well done. He's got some up and down ones, and I'm using just a couple of them in here to kind of get a sense of how they work. And then so one of the things that I normally work on when I'm combining either objects and patterns, and then this also happens in the rare times that I'm using terrain brushes, I will use pattern tools to patterns to kind of overcome some hard lines. So you can kind of see these stairs are going to result in some hard lines. There's some shadowing and cracks here that look pretty good, pretty natural, but I want them to look a little bit more seamless. And so there's a number of tricks you can kind of do to improve the look of this. So I'll show you kind of what one of the standard ones I typically do. I'm going to turn Snap to Grid on just to make this a little bit easier. I like to edit points of these patterns, so I'm going to use the Baileywiki Cobblestone Elvish Tile Bowl 12, and I'm just going to drop it in here like this. And you can see it's a tileable asset, so it lines up with my other pattern below it. And then I'm going to go to Edit Points, Snap to Grid off, and then I'm going to start moving these points around close to this object. I'm going to put like a lot of points in here just to help with the hard line. But like perhaps, you know, and then I'm going to be conscious of things like this grass here. You don't want to like cut this in so it's like half the grass, because then that looks a little wonky. So I'm just going to cut this in just to show you an example. So I might start with something like this. Yeah, and it looks okay. It still then creates this other line in here, and perhaps the other line was even better than this one in terms of its seamlessness. But then I might come in and overlay this with things like rubble, like this asset I have here, also from Baileywiki. And so I might do something, you know, like, hey, these are ruins, so there's going to be some erosion or drop off. And so there's some different versions that he has of these. So maybe you want some heavier rocks kind of mixed in. You know, you could also put these kind of under to show the heaviness of it. There's also some really light, dusty ones. So I'm just going to search for rubble. And he's got these nice ones here. And put these over. So I might do something kind of like this, you know, and I might even like increase these because some of his assets are really nice. They go up to like 4K. So I might do something like that. And so it's totally hidden my line. I might even throw in some shadowing over this. I'll eventually do a lot of shadowing work towards the end, but I might do something kind of like this to just, again, obscure it a little bit. And it kind of makes it look like maybe more transitional or whatever than like this hard line that you see over here on this stairwell. So this is kind of like how I used to do this sort of thing. I'm going to show you something new, and this requires a mod. This mod is free. This one I'm going to show is called Blurred Edge Patterns from Shy34. I started using this about a month ago. You can get this on Cartography Assets, again, free. You can download this and install it as a mod. I'm not going to go over how to do that in today's like quick tip, but I'm going to quickly like undo this. I'm going to show you what this mod does. It's pretty powerful. Take this pattern off of here. Okay, so we're kind of back to square. And I've got this mod already installed, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to my drawing tool, and I've got the same pattern selected here, but now I'm going to come down to here to where it says Enable Edge Blur. So these controls all down here are come with this modification. So I'm going to click that on, and I'm going to get some new options here. I'm going to leave this blur direction off. You can increase and decrease the blur range. I'll show you that. And the smoothness. And I'm going to come first over here just to the side so you can kind of see this. Turn snap to grid back on for a moment. And so here's what it looks like. So same pattern. Now it's got like some shading around the edges that help this thing look like it can blend in well. And so you can kind of see now the lines on the tile aren't lining up, but you get a general sense of, there you go, like what this tile can do. But the crazy thing about this is you can still like edit the pattern. I'm going to turn snap to grid off, and you can kind of increase it. So you imagine like, I don't want some of this grass in here, I just want the tile. Just find the points or create new ones. And you maybe got this piece here, or maybe you want to put like a fallen pillar. Like Bailey's got some really nice pillars in here. So maybe you want to take something like one of these cool columns that he's got here, and put this at layer 1, and you put this under here, and it starts to look like it's kind of like buried under, maybe I put dirt or moss or something else. And then on this pattern, what you can do is you can also change, like I said, the blur range. So maybe that's too dark and you just want it just over that. So now you got this piece that's like kind of bulging out. And so it provides some really kind of fun and clever ways to bring patterns and objects together. So now instead of like what I was doing, let's bring this, you know, kind of over to my working area here. And I'm going to draw this right on here. I'm going to turn snap to grid back on just so I can kind of have something to start with. So here we got, it lines up because this is a tileable asset, so it's going to line up right with what I've got here. Go to edit point, I'm going to turn snap to grid off, and then I'm going to start to kind of blend this in. And I'm going to zoom in so I can kind of do it. I might put a few extra points in here. And then I'm just going to move this around. This is all under objects, so these points matter fewer, but they give me a little bit more control with the curves. Okay. And then maybe what I want to do is decrease the blur a little bit. Oh, I gotta select the tile first. Something more like that. And then I can keep getting this to the point maybe I want it to keep this little grass thing here. And what I'm trying to do is kind of soften this overall like line there. Okay, that looks pretty good. So now when I look at it, like I've totally lost that stair line, and this looks like it's more like integrated in part of this component. And I could still go in and now put, if I wanted to put some rubble, which I likely will, some of these areas, I can still kind of do that. Just go to my level 2, you know, and I can still do that. I have a little bit more freedom of where I want to place these because I'm no longer trying to cover up that line. And so you can do this all kinds of things. You can do that over maybe a terrain brush where you've got like the whole terrain of something, but you want to blend in and use that terrain with some tileable assets without the hard lines. So just a really super powerful tool. Just wanted to show that to you guys. I'm going to keep playing with it and working with it. I used it a little bit in my last map that I just released for Abomination Vaults, but thought in case you hadn't seen that, to give props to Shy. Go check out that mod. Super awesome. With that, this is Wise signing off. Make it intentional, make it immersive, and make it last.